All right, Coach, we're getting towards the end of spring practice here. How's it going?
It's going good. Other than some injury bugs, it's been pretty good. Getting the new guys kind of settled in, and a lot of new wideouts with a couple of them going down hurt. It's been really good for the new guys to kind of come in and get some valuable reps. So overall, pretty good. Still got to get a lot better though.
Got the scrimmage on Saturday. What are you looking for in that?
I'd say just operation. Even though they've been here for a little bit, when it gets to scrimmage time, those new guys start spinning a little bit and just operating. No pre-snap penalties. And just putting the ball down the field. I think last scrimmage was okay. We got to capitalize as the one group of putting in the end zone. So just as a whole operation and putting the ball in the end zone as a one. So
this is kind of the end of fall camp here this week. How would you evaluate camp overall?
Pretty good. I think people have been flying around. I thought the offensive line's been doing really good. Quarterbacks have been playing pretty good, operating at a high level. The running backs are a lot better this year. I mean, we got a lot of firepower at running back position. Got a lot of different backs too. So as a whole, it's been pretty good. The defense has been flying around, which is awesome to see. But as a whole, I think it's been pretty good. The motion has been high a little bit at times, but it's been pretty good. We've been getting after it and being very competitive, so that's good.
Well, you have the wide receivers. What's your evaluation of where you're at quarterback?
Quarterback, I think all three of them have been doing really good. It kind of stinks that Chris Jimerson is kind of went down with that oblique injury, but he was doing really, really well. And I think Reese has been doing a really good job. He's very different than Drew. They have a little bit different games, and Drew's been doing a really good job. Drew's been here for a while, so as far as operation goes, Drew knows everything like the back of his hand, but he's doing a really good job of getting guys where they need to be, and he's been throwing the ball really, really well. So.
You guys were able to bring back a few freshmen from last year, including Miles Coleman.
Yeah.
What have you kind of seen from them and how they kind of progressed throughout this fall?
Yeah, Miles is a stud, and we know that. The biggest thing is we just got to get Miles back on the field. So we're being smart with him a little bit. Even though he's going to be a sophomore, he knows this offense probably than everybody in my room, to be honest with you. He can play all four positions, but we're just being smart with him. He kind of got nicked up with a little hamstring deal. So, and like I said, some of these newer guys like Terrence Lewis, we're moving in the slot. I mean, there's just some big-time reps that they're getting with those guys being out. So,
it's kind of impressed you in that wide receiver room so far in terms of how much of an impact they can make on that season.
I think everybody's different. I think we got three deep, at the outside position. The biggest deal is, same thing with Landon. I think Landon, we need to get back healthy. But I think the new guys, as of this week, are starting to get a little bit more comfortable. The first week they were spinning from an operation standpoint. But just as a whole, we've been doing a good job. We've been talking, communicating. Wyatt Young, I feel like, is doing a really good job. He's gotten a lot better from year one, which is understandable. He played quarterback in high school, so he's been doing a good job. Dalton Carnes has been doing a really good job. Simeon Evans, I thought, has gotten a lot better. His body weight's down to 200 pounds, and it just seems like he's moving better out there. Cam Dorner, as of the past 3 days, I think he's really stepped up, and he's been flying around and making some football plays, which is really good to see.
Yeah, because you lost your top three from last year.
Yeah.
How's the process been of replacing those guys?
It's been good. I think talent-wise, I think we're better. And just kind of like I was saying, getting these new guys acclimated, that's the biggest issue. But they're doing a really good job. We still have Miles coming back. Like I said, Wyatt coming back. So Dalton, it's helped those guys kind of get lined up. And, when I'm not out there coaching, they can get them lined up. Because at the end of the day, they're out there playing. They're the ones that got to communicate and talk. So they've been doing a really good job.
Has there been a point of emphasis offensively throughout this fall camp y'all been pushing going into week one?
Just the jail as a whole. We're switching up some offensive line positions, but just being, extremely efficient, right? I think last year we were probably the most explosive team, but just situational football, I think, was lacking last year. Third downs were nowhere near where we needed to be to win a championship. Red zone offense, nowhere near where we need to be. We had a lot of yards, we were explosive, but we got to do the little things and be a little bit more efficient. And situational football, it's got to get better. So that's been an emphasis for sure.
I was interested in Brayden Nelson. He's coming in to talk with us here in a
Yeah.
little bit. You kind of threw him to the fire last year. How
Yeah.
much has he grown?
He's grown a lot. Even though he's a sophomore, he's going to be a true sophomore. He's probably the strongest offensive lineman in that room. But there's a lot of guys pushing him. He's gotten a lot better. Obviously, year two at offensive line, the communication, all that stuff, feeling more comfortable. I think when you get thrown out there, you kind of realize, hey, I can do it. And I thought, at the end of the year, he started getting a little bit more confident, and you can see that right now. So.
Speaking a little more on the quarterback race, Coach, just what do you feel like are the keys to operating this offense at a high level?
We put a lot on the quarterback. So just like you said, operation, getting the play in, communicating at a high level, keeping us in efficient plays, like I said, first and second down, and knowing what to do, getting us out of bad plays. but just leading these guys, talking, communicating, being assertive. I think they've all taken turns and done a good job at that, and kind of getting guys going.
You guys brought in some tight ends this year. What have you kind of seen from them, and how do you feel like they'll be able to integrate in this offense?
Yeah, I thought they've done a great job. This is probably, we've used more tight ends in this camp just with injuries due to receiver than we ever have by a long shot. I think, Connor has his own role. I think he's a really strong guy who can put his hand down and move some guys on the line of scrimmage. Trey Williams, it'd be interesting to see what people do with him out there. I mean, he's 11/10 personnel guy, but actually does a really good job in the core. But I think he's going to be a problem. He's kind of like your joker that can play receiver, can play your H-back, tight end stuff, and you get the ball in his hands. He's pretty special. So I really like what I've seen from Trey.
What are you guys' biggest challenges left as you guys get to the end of fall camp here?
I think staying healthy for one, and then going out here this last Saturday, and some of the guys you want as the twos and the threes to kind of come on and get comfortable and see them, kind of cut it loose. And, because after this scrimmage, we're going to be in a mock game week, and, guys are going to go to scouts, and we're going to kind of finalize this final two depth charts. So just go out there and play free and make plays when their time's coming.
You mentioned Trey Williams there as a guy who kind of allows you some flexibility in offense. Just who else do you feel like gives you a little more flexibility in terms of what you coordinate?
Oh, man. If I had to say one guy, just because he's probably in my room, he comes to mind is Wyatt Young, just because I feel like he's a bigger guy, but he's also like a receiver. So we throw so many perimeter stuff and perimeter screens out there that he can really block with the best of them, and that gives us a lot. He can run routes really well. We can put him in the backfield. We can give him some jet sweeps, some stuff. So he's got a lot of versatility.
Where do you guys have some decisions left to make as far as that 2 deep and playing guys goes?
Yeah, obviously the quarterback position, I'll leave that to Coach Morris. Outside receiver, I would say, the ones, twos, and threes. I think Landon, if he's healthy, he's probably going to be out there starting at X. But Shandon King, Baron Tipton, those guys kind of battling out. And the Z position, Simeon and Cam Dorner have kind of been battling out this fall camp. And been kind of switching them off back and forth. But that's going to be something Saturday. And I'm interested to see how they do. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, Coach.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Will, so you guys are getting towards the end of camp and having the big scrimmage on Saturday, so how do you feel about where you guys are at?
I feel like we're in a good spot right now on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Just being able to build relationships with the other guys and come together as a defense, and we're finally figuring out our identity and who we'll be.
How has that identity kind of developed over the course of camp?
Really just a aggressive style defense, offensive side too, scoring, air raid, that type of deal. And we're just going to be aggressive, and we're going to get after every opponent that we face.
What did you kind of see from the last scrimmage, Will, and what do you kind of anticipate for the next one?
It's going to be exciting. A lot of the guys are developing and just out there making plays and flying around and just becoming as disciplined as we can be as a defense.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about playing with Pat again. Since you guys came here, both played at Old Dominion, what's it going to be like to play with him again?
Man, that's my guy right there. I'm happy to have him here. Glad he made the decision to come here. But we have chemistry. We played together last year, and just being able to continue to learn and build that relationship when we're on the field together is going to be great and exciting.
You come in here with a lot of experience, and you're going into a different style of defense. What have you kind of been able to adjust to, and how have you been able to kind of get used to this with the younger team?
Just the mentality of the defense. Being a leader and the older guy in the room, being able to develop our younger players and just show them that running to the ball is just some non-negotiables and things like that, and it's going to be good.
And Coach said that you and Pat kind of have that unspoken connection after playing together for a long time. Do you see that on the field?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like I said, I played a whole year with Pat last year, and then just these last few months being able to continue to develop that connection is awesome.
It was just kind of unspoken. You guys kind of know where each other are going.
Yeah, after playing with him for so long and running through so many plays in practice and in the game and things like that, it's just kind of, I kind of know where his head's at. He knows what I'm thinking, things like that.
Yeah, but Coach was saying that you guys are kind of always together. You guys developed a pretty close bond.
Yeah, that's my guy. We play on the same side of the field. Sometimes we play on different sides of the field. So, I feel like our relationship could never be too strong. It's only going to benefit us when we get on the field.
Kind of looking forward to this one last ride. You've kind of taken a big route through college. You played a lot of different places. You're just looking forward to this one last opportunity?
Yeah, I am. It's a blessing to be back in Texas where I'm from, closer to my family and things like that. So I'm excited to take this last ride, and there's no place I'd rather be.
Now that we're kind of headed toward the end of fall camp, where have you kind of seen the most growth in this defense?
Really just everybody overall and just building the chemistry and being out there with different guys and being able to play together as a defense.
Actually, you've been a part of a couple fall camps now, so, you know, how far along do you feel like this defense is in that process of building chemistry?
I feel like we're at a perfect spot right now. You know, still got a few weeks before the first game, and even during the season, that chemistry will continue to grow.
I was kind of, I don't know if you know him very well, but I was interested in Brayden Knox since he started last year as a freshman. As you came into this program, have you gotten to know him a little bit along?
I heard a little bit about him last year, but since I've came in, you know, we've built a relationship, and I've seen what he's done on the offensive line and things like that. So I'm excited to see what he has going this season.
You think he's in for a big year?
Yes, sir. I feel like all of our guys are in for a big year.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Will.
Yep.
All right, Brayden, so we're getting down towards the end of fall camp here. How do you think it's gone for you guys?
I mean, I feel like it's going pretty good. We just been trying to come together and stack days, execute at a high level, just play hard and physical.
Hey, you gained a lot of experience. They threw you out to the Wolves last year, started you as a
Yeah.
freshman. I know that that's something Coach says he doesn't want to do a lot in the future. How much did you gain from just the experience of playing last year?
I mean, I gained a lot of knowledge, gained a lot of experience, played with a lot of older guys. They taught me some things. It was just like, I feel like it was just good for me to get that early experience.
Was that tough to play as a true freshman as an offensive lineman out there?
I mean, the first game, yeah, it was a little tough, but as I kept playing, got more experience, it just got smoother. But I still had, I had to come out, play hard, play physical.
What happened in that first game that made it so tough?
Let me think. The starting right guard went down, then we had an MA, and it was like, Brayden, you up. So I just had to strap it up and go out there.
You guys have brought in some experience in the offensive line this year. You know, how have they been able to kind of teach you a little bit more going into your sophomore season?
I mean, I'm still trying to learn a lot. I'm still a little young, even though I had a lot of experience last year. They've been coming in, teaching me some things, showing me what I can do different on and off the field.
With that first year under your belt, Brayden, where do you kind of see your role in this kind of offensive line?
I would kind of see it as trying to step up as a leader more, or just trying to be the voice of the O-line.
So then you obviously got to play around in a couple different positions last year as well. You know, how did that kind of help you kind of grow as a player so far?
I mean, it just helped me gain more experience and more knowledge, and it taught me to know what everybody's doing, because you don't know what can happen.
You started from a better place this year?
What you mean?
Well, I mean, do you feel like you're more experienced, you feel more comfortable with the situation and that kind of thing?
I mean, you can never get comfortable playing football. Like, you always gotta come to work every day, trying to get better, trying to stack days.
But you do feel better, like you're more experienced and more comfortable with the situation here at this point than maybe you were a year ago?
I wouldn't say comfortable. I wouldn't use comfortable.
Well, not comfortable, but yeah.
Is there a specific goal you kind of have for yourself or even the offensive line group as a whole going into week one?
I mean, going into week one, like, as an offensive line, we just want to go out there, execute at a high level, play physical, play fast, just because, yeah, that.
You know, you've been able to play last year. You had a different quarterback this year. You knew the quarterbacks a little bit, including Drew. What have you kind of seen from them?
I mean, they all ballers. Like, they'll go out, they all leaders of the offense, they all do their job, they do their thing. So, like, I feel like no matter who they put out there, we're going to be successful.
How have you grown most as a player over the last year?
I feel like my IQ has grown the most.
Coach kind of said that you guys are still trying to figure out that interior offensive line group. You know, how has it been with a couple different guys at center so far?
I mean, you just been trying to mix and match, trying to find who's going to be the starter, who's going to be the guy. So I just feel like whoever's going to be the guy is going to execute and do their job.
What are your thoughts about those, guards and centers in that room so far?
My thoughts? I mean, like, sometimes I really don't try to pay attention to, like, the position races and all that. I just be trying to focus on who I got next to me and what we got to do right then and there.
Yeah.
Kind of interested in Ethan Day, who came in this year. You probably see a lot in practice.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to be an impact player for you guys this year? What have you learned about him since he's got?
Yeah, he's going to be an impact player for sure. He's a good active rusher. He's good in the run game. Like, he has a chance to be, he's going to be good.
Have you gotten to know him at all as a
Yeah,
guy?
outside, yeah, he's a good person, great person to be around.
You know, how important was it to kind of get Gabe Blair-Black, here in the portal when he came back here? How important was that to you and the offensive line?
I mean, it was good for the offensive line as a whole, because Gabe, he's been here all 4 years. He's going to his 5th year. I mean, he had a lot of experience, so I feel like that's good for us as a whole.
Thanks, Brayden.